Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Hibiscus or admin Hibiscus or Yuzukahibiscus or whatever you want to call me with. You are currently listening to my podcast, which is Hibiscus Cafe Break. This podcast will feature international fans and I will be letting them plug in their favorite show. But this time, it is a special event, as you can see from the live title. I have Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. If you haven't followed, I suggest that you do if you want to have more Yuzukare content. Except, I've made a few changes. On Instagram and Tumblr, and also on Twitter, but now a private account, you can find my handle at YUZUKAHIBISCUS. But if you want to follow more text-related updates on Yuzukare, you could go to Updates of Rei, which is UPDATESOFREI. Also, subscribe to my channel and like my video if you like this episode. Please note that the name Hibiscus Cafe Break is with due respect to the original show Takarazuka Cafe Break. This is a fan-made podcast with no intention of receiving commercial revenue, rather to promote Takarazuka review in a casual and informal manner. I do not own any of the resources that may be featured, and any mentions of the shows or xians are subject to copyright from Hankyu Railway, Takarazuka Review, and Takarazuka Creative Arts Publications. Without further ado, let the podcast begin. Welcome back, everyone, to this episode 3 of Hibiscus Cafe Break. It's been so long since I narrated this opening. It sounds so weird, but at the same time, I'm so glad to be back because May is the month where I created my fan page, and May 13th is the exact date which I started my fan page, and May 13th, 2021 is the first post I made. And I still remember that my first post was about Joseph Ray. So it's quite a coincidence because now we also have updates from Ray endorsing or actually supervising the Joseph brand with some of her products. But anyway, the reason I'm opening this live is because, as you can see, it's my 2-year anniversary, if you couldn't guess from what I just said. But I'm really happy that my fan page actually reached 2 years, because it would really seem difficult given the copyright restraints and the possible conception of opening a fan page for like Takarazuka Review actresses. So I'm glad I'm still keep on going, and my drive and motivation is still here. And it's just also very thankful to the people that have followed here. On Instagram, I have 2.6k plus followers. On Twitter, maybe a cumulative of almost 500, and on Tumblr, almost 300. So that's not an easy number to make, and it's also like difficult to reach out to different international fans, I guess, because Takarazuka Review is a Japanese theatrical company of all women cast, and they are getting better actually at social media, because just this afternoon, a few hours ago, Takarazuka Review published on their website the news that the ongoing performance of Cosmos Troupe, which is Casino Royale, My Name's Bond, will actually be having a live stream, and this will be streamed with 8 language subtitles. 8 languages is a very big international thing. It is a win for all international fans. There's like English, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Indonesian subtitles. It's just really mind-blowing that they are actually holding this event. Maybe there are more opportunities coming, and it's something we really should celebrate as international fans. And this is actually a promotion, because even though if you're not a Cosmos Troupe fan, I definitely encourage you to grasp the chance to at least watch this one performance, okay? It's on Beyond Live, so you can go to the website and check out more about their announcement, because at least with that kind of online streaming, there's definitely going to be higher viewerships, and it's just much more accessible for international fans. And I think this is also something for them to test waters. So if more people decide to watch it and follow the rules, which means if you didn't buy it, or at least if you purchased the ticket, don't publicly make it available on YouTube, okay? If we all follow these rules together, I'm sure that they would possibly consider a second chance. And maybe the next time they have such a grand scale of international streaming, it would possibly be, I don't know, maybe it would be a musical starring Ray, right? So if we want to have the chance, this is our opportunity to show them that there are so many international fans, but at the same time, we are international fans that are willing to comply with the rules. And if we have that trust relationship, then they will be possibly offering more of these opportunities, which I'm also excited to see more of it. Anyway, so going back to the subject, so this is my second anniversary for my fan page, and I've always been thinking of what I should do in this Instagram live. And so before this Instagram live happened, I sent an email to the people following on my mailing list, which, for those who are curious, I currently do subtitling translation or article translations on Yuzukahibiscus or Flower True. So if you want to know more information, you can go to my the link in my bio, where there will have 4 social media handles, including there's the Instagram one, the one we're currently looking at, the Twitter one, which is the updates of Ray one, the Tumblr one, and also the Weebly one. So Weebly is a place where you could sign up to my mailing list, and you can get notifications from me when I finish a subtitling project, or when I'm about to stream a new project, or a new performance, or whatsoever. So if you want to know more, then you can definitely go to the card to find out more, okay? So I'm going to answer some questions I got from like the giveaway Google form, which thank you so much for the enthusiastic support. There's actually so many responses. I should actually mention what questions I did have on the forum. I asked you guys, how did you know about Ray, Takarazuka? Like, what are the difficulties of becoming a new fan of Takarazuka? How long have you been a fan? How did you find my fan page? How often do you want some notification updates? And the other questions would be related to how I want to further operate my page. And yeah. So now I'm going to basically address some of the questions that I got. So first of all, most people, when they answer, how have you known about Ray or Takarazuka, most of them actually mentioned TikTok. So TikTok is, well, as you may know, it's like a video streaming platform, a video sharing platform, and there's like a lot of stuff going there. But I don't know what is going on there because Hong Kong does not have TikTok access. But anyway, most people discovered Ray through TikTok or other video sharing platforms or social media like YouTube, or finding edits of Ray or Takarazuka on Instagram. Then the second most responses I have are either like they watched it from anime, they heard it from Japanese culture. They watched, for instance, maybe Oran High School Host Club, or they've heard about Rose of Versailles, City Hunter. They've also seen Kageki Shoujo, and that's kind of it. Yeah. The third most responses I get are probably like friend recommendations. Like my friend sent me the picture or sent me an edit, or I just found a certain picture of Ray who looks very alluring and beautiful. That's how I kind of got into the rabbit hole. And some other responses would include actually having seen some of her performances. So for instance, maybe seeing her Elizabeth, maybe seeing her Top Hat performances, seeing also, what else? Maybe seeing her Enchantment or Mayerling videos. Those are like 4 sources of knowing Ray. That's what I kind of identified. So I'm going to talk about them. So from TikTok, I actually have no idea, again, how the world looks like. I just know it's probably a lot of Ray edits from what I heard, because some of the new friends or mutuals that I've known actually also told me that they actually knew from like Ray TikTok edits. I personally am not the most enjoyer of TikTok, mostly because I don't know what is in there. I don't know how the people are there. I'm not discriminating, but I just don't know how the climate is. Not really an enjoyer, but I can't really give too much comment. So yeah. The second thing is about seeing through anime. Now that's a very cool thing because obviously Takarazuka is originally a Japanese culture. So to have something that is not Takarazuka related, but somehow kind of through some numerous searches relate to each other, then that's a new way of discovering it because you see like a totally different world view of Japanese culture. And when that draws you in, I think that's very cool. And then thirdly is through like some of the photos and videos. That's almost very easy as well because if you just search on Google, like numerous pictures of Yuzukahibiscus will bounce up. Also, if you use the kanji search, then there will be even more. So I'm not actually surprised by that. And then the fourth thing is seeing some performances, either live viewing, whatsoever, through my subbed shows. I think those are like supposedly it should be the most direct access to actually knowing Ray because you actually get to know her as a performer, like as her main occupation. So it's not just a photo cut, it's not just a certain move that she did, it's actually seeing her whole total evolution of how she portrays the characters that actually changes your perception or your view of why you actually want to like her or why that made you fall in love with her. So these are also quite common causes that I've identified, and these are also very reasonable, I think. The second question is about, do you remember as you're a new fan, what were the difficulties of understanding Takarazuka? Okay, so actually, I think I can identify with two sources, which I myself also resonate with a lot as an international fan when I was a new fan at first. And it's honestly very reasonable because this is possibly an issue that has been ongoing, but slowly happening to have new opportunities, right? So, yeah. The first difficulty is difficult to find shows. Little resource to find with English subtitles, and just not finding anything. So Takarazuka Review becomes just a name. It's difficult to navigate, not sure where to start, and all of those things, because we know it as an all-female theater troupe in Japan for over 100 years, but that's all. If you want to search more for it, it's possibly difficult, or you are really flustered on where to start. So the model answer for me, okay, at least, is firstly, you go to find TakaWiki. Because if you don't know yet, TakaWiki is the great resource. It's a fan-based Wikipedia that overseas fans have crafted, collaborated on. We edit stuff on it. We add lyric translations. We add ultimate information. It's basically, you do a search. Almost the first Google search that pops up is a source from TakaWiki. So, if you're not sure where to start, go to TakaWiki. It really helps. It's TAKAWIKI. And then the other thing is about like the sources, okay? Like, why can't we find musicals on YouTube? Or like why can't we find it? Okay, like we have YouTube, we have a lot of video sharing platforms. Well, the thing is, theater is a business. So they are an entertainment and commercial business. They need the commercial revenue to build up on the continuous glittery, shining stage sets, the actress's income, and all that. So without the commercial revenue, you don't have the entertainment performance, right? I think that sounds really fair. But at the same time, it's also because of copyright. Because theater production is a big copyright thing. And it's not a fault. Like, even though with internet usage now, there's like somehow fair use of copyright, Takarazuka Review currently does not really recognize it and does not encourage it. That's why you can't really find full musicals on any YouTube channel. Because if you find those, that means they're illegal. Okay, like they're illegally uploaded, and it's not a good thing. It's not the right thing either. And Takarazuka can actually put a lawsuit against you. An experience I could share is, well, my YouTube, because even though I was sharing edits, some funny compilation edits, but that alone can actually trigger Takarazuka Review sending me copyright claims. So that was what happened to my previous YouTube page, which is why I don't have one anymore. So that's why the source you could get Takarazuka Review musicals is by purchasing the Blu-rays. You could find them on CD Japan for overseas fans or on Takarazuka Yes. But unfortunately, if you purchase those Blu-rays, you will realize they don't have English subtitles. An email came in before I started this live. It was about, I don't understand the story, even though I purchased the Blu-ray. And for that, I really answer them. I can't help you because that's really what they produced. They produced the source because they expect the main audience or the main scope of customers to be Japanese. That's why they don't really provide subtitles, okay? And with that, we go to the second difficulty, which is the language barrier. So for language barrier, it's about the difficulty of learning Japanese. And that's also what I've been trying to break through, which is by providing translation. So I provide translation for speeches that Yuzukahibiscus did, and also maybe some musicals. And I'm saying this all out in the open. I actually could be prosecuted against, because any type of translation is also an infringement of copyright. So you can see I actually know about the Japanese copyright law, the Hankyu policies, but I still do it. Because I know the frustrating part about wanting to appreciate something, but not understanding it because of an obstacle. And this obstacle so happens to be Japanese. The way I see it is when I provide English subtitles, people will say thank you so much for the translation. But then I was wondering a few days ago if this English subtitles would be too relied on. For instance, some of my friends tell me that they watch these musicals out of my English subtitle shows, and okay, they could remember what the story is like. So when the next time they watch it, they may not necessarily need translation anymore. However, keep in mind that when some certain same phrases appear on another context, for instance, another performance, we actually may forget it because we are possibly too relying on the subtitles. I was thinking if that was a possible push-pull factor, double-edged sword. Because the more you rely on English subtitles, the less you actually put focus on the context they're speaking, the words they use. So with that, it's not really about learning Japanese language anymore. It's just about understanding what they say. So I'm not sure, but I was thinking, when I ask the same question again, possibly to the same group of people, maybe 3 years later, would their Japanese have improved? Maybe some would. Maybe some would pick up the Japanese language. But maybe others would possibly say, not really, because I've been looking at translations a lot. And yes, that does not really help you learn Japanese. So I was thinking, actually, I'm not sure how I could improve this, because this really is about a learning process. And I'm not saying that everyone should learn translation like me, okay? I understand translation is a huge effort. It takes time and effort. And not all of us have the time and effort to do every translation. Even though I personally know some fans that would actually translate each line word by word, even though with the use of Google Translate. So don't say Google Translate is not reliable. Of course, I know it is not, but when people are actually willing to do this line by line, they're pushing themselves to learn a new vocabulary, a new sentence. So even though that is not reliable, you still get some context, and with more repetitive knowledge, you actually accumulate more concept of how Japanese language works. And I'm saying this out of a pure approach of how I learned it, because I dealt with the translation since I've always been accustomed to, for instance, how Ray talks. But I'm not saying it that I'm like a level higher. I'm definitely not. I'm still learning. Sometimes this is why I proofread my translations a year later, because I know that sometimes when I released it the first time, it may not be reliable. It may be wrong even. So I need to proofread them a year later when I understood more of the language to realize, oh, I messed it up, but I guess I have to change it, or else people will also mess their understanding up, and I will confuse people. So again, I'm speaking out of a personal example, but not out of translation expert approach. I am far from that. I didn't even take a JLPT yet, so I'm not in the way to say what is the best way of learning Japanese. I was just always thinking how to make people possibly learn it better. So one thing I do, which I'm not sure if it is efficient to you all, is adding the Japanese lyrics to the translation also for some of my review translations. Those shows with just dancing and singing. Because with that, it's interesting for people to realize what the lyrics are. They can recognize the kanji, the use of grammar they use, which again, grammar is still not my best suit yet. But I think it's good that we also get to interact to each other by them looking at how the Japanese sentence works in an English phrase or why I translated it that way. Because I think learning a language is about reciprocity. Yeah, basically that. So I think it really needs to have a give and take. It's not just about taking it in, it's also about giving it. So I'm not sure if this would help, but I do suggest that if people find it interesting, I could possibly post some. I have no idea what the context would be yet. Possible phrases that I don't know, like Japanese would be useful in Takarazuka. I have no idea yet, but anyway. Okay, so just gonna answer this one last question and then I will really end the live because it's been longer. It's been so long. It's been like an hour. But anyway, so the question I got was, could you please tell us how much do you spend usually to purchase these merchandise? So I got it from my proxy, and let's talk about the wall calendars, okay? The wall calendars are about, wait, let me actually have to, wall calendars are about $50. $50 Hong Kong dollars, 700 yen. Converted back to your price, that's how it is. From a proxy, because I have to give the delivery fee, that's above maybe 20, 30. So the whole set of wall calendars, if I purchased it, it was about 90 if I include the postage, like if I include the delivery fee. I don't have a set budget. I just look at what I need. But that doesn't mean I am an obsessive buyer. I purchase rationally. I purchase those that I'm interested in. Bromides, I don't buy every single one. I purchase those that I find there is a significant commemorative meaning, and I choose to use that. Bromides are about 340 yen each, which converted to Hong Kong dollars, it's about $20 each. So yeah. Basically, I purchase bromides more. I know it's supposed to be Blu-rays. I am saving money. I hope that answers the question. Let me make a correction. Sorry, I meant the calendar is 50, so plus 20, 30, it's about 70, 80. Sorry, so sorry with the pronunciation in Chinese. Okay. Yeah, basically that is it. And okay, final question really. I gotta end this because I have another event going on soon. Do you read the news from Takarazuka that they will stream with subs? If you're talking about the Takarazuka review with the Cosmos Troop one, I have. And I've also addressed it at the beginning of the live, which when I save this on archive, you could watch it later. Yes. 就是刚才有人问你知道就是有那个字幕的直播吗？就是刚才我做那个占士邦那个 James Bond 那个，就是刚才直播也说了，所以现在这里就不重复了。Okay, so thank you so much. For the people who joined the live, for the people who joined the lottery, for the people who followed my page, thank you so much. And maybe I'm going to do one last cringe pose because I'm me and I'm Hibiscus. So I think Flower Troop has this flower pose, right? Flower Troop pose. So, okay. Maybe not because I got a question. I'm going to change it back first. 想请问你的日文是自学吗? So someone asked if my Japanese was self-learned. Yes, I self-learned Japanese. I self-learned Japanese through Takarazuka actually because I never knew Japanese before approaching Takarazuka. Then I got into translation and the rest is history. Okay, so yeah, final one thing I'm gonna do, so cringe. Don't ask any questions anymore. Anyway, so Hibiscus flower troop pose. Not sure if anyone's gonna look at it, but I think they do like Hanagumi cycle, so Thank you to all the people who filled in the form, the 58 people who really wanted the merch. I can see that you also really love Ray, that you applied for the lottery. Thank you so much. The second thing is, thanks to the people who have been following the fan page. It's been 2 years. I hope to do better. Yes, right. So before I answer that question, OK， 就是用中文再说一次，就是就是恭喜3位赢家。然后就是第一件事就是，如果你在 IG 是问了我问题，我应该是忘记了，因为是我忘记抄下来。但是没关系，我之后会在现实动态会再回答的。第二件事就是非常感谢，就是所有一直就是参加这个抽奖的人，对，就是这58个人应该都是很爱 Ray 的吧，所以才会参加，所以非常感谢你们。还有第三就是感谢一些就是支持我这个粉丝页的人，就是因为有你们我才能继续。虽然这样说是很土，但是我也要说的就是真的是没有你们的话真的不会继续下去了，因为我有一段时间真的是在想我应否要继续下去呢，但是当时就是想到应该有不少新的粉丝会慢慢加入的，那我就觉得应该继续了。Yeah, thank you so much, and I will end the live here.